you're still the greatest motherfucker of all time.
Jon! Boom! Jon!
That the best of the best are wild. They're risk takers.
It's never over. As long as you never quit, it's never over. I'm back here.
Johnny Bones Jones, a fighter of historical accomplishment, a fighter of controversy. The truth lands somewhere in the middle. Jones was a state champion wrestler in high school and a national junior college champion. Realizing his early success, he dropped out of college to pursue MMA full-time. Jones dominated his first 6 pro fights in only 3 months. And just like that, a 21-year-old Jon Jones was making his UFC debut as a short notice replacement. Usually, short notice fights can go south quickly, but not for the future GOAT. He won his debut via unanimous decision, and the rest is history. Despite a minor setback against Matt Hamill where Jones was DQ'd, he rattled off 3 straight dominant wins, earning his first title shot against the legend Mauricio Shogun Rua. At just 23 years old, Jones closed as a -210 favorite over the champion. And it wasn't even close. Jones controlled every second of the fight and finished the job in the 3rd round with a vicious knee to the head. After that, he rattled off 5 straight title defenses with little to no obstacles. Rampage Jackson, round 4 submission. Lyoto Machida, round 2 submission. Rashad Evans, dominant decision. No, it wasn't until his fight with Alexander Gustafsson where Jones finally met a real threat. Despite being a near 9-1 favorite, Jones struggled with the size and physicality of a guy like Gus. The fight went back and forth non-stop with each guy trading blow for blow. As the fight entered the championship rounds, Gus stood in there and fought hard until the final second. 2 judges scored the fight 48-47 Jones, which was by far the closest we'd ever seen in one of Jon's fights. But it was still another successful title defense to add to his resume. Jones added in 2 more with a dominant decision over Glover Teixeira and another over rival Daniel Cormier. Everything was clicking on all cylinders until April 28th, 2015. On that day, Jones was suspended from the UFC and stripped of his belt due to his involvement in a hit-and-run incident. Jones struck a car operated by a pregnant woman and fled the scene on foot. However, Jones later turned himself in and was now facing a felony charge. Despite all of this, the UFC reinstated Jones just 6 months later, and he wasted no time easily defeating Ovince St. Preux by unanimous decision. Jones was then set to rematch Daniel Cormier in July 2016 until USADA jumped in and suspended Jones for 1 year. Jones was again stripped of his belt and forced to sit on the sidelines. When his suspension was up, the rematch with Daniel Cormier was booked for July 2017. It was clear these 2 fighters absolutely hated each other, and this became one of the most highly anticipated fights of all time. But the fight wasn't close, and Jon put on another clinic, defeating Cormier by round 3 head kick. It was clear that Jon Jones was the true king of light heavyweight. That is until USADA popped back in and flagged Jones for another doping violation. The fight with Cormier was ruled a no contest, and Jon was suspended for another 15 months after both testing samples came back positive for an illegal anabolic steroid. Jones returned in October of 2018 and still proved his status as the king of the division. The rematch with Gus, Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, Dom Reyes, it didn't matter who stepped in front of him, Jones came away victorious each and every time. And that marks the last fight we saw of him at 205 pounds. 3 years have gone by and we've been teased relentlessly about the GOAT's return. Would it be a super fight with Francis Ngannou at heavyweight? We never truly knew until January 2023 when the UFC and Dana White officially confirmed that Jon Jones would make his glorious return at UFC 285 against rising star Ciryl Gane. There are a million question marks surrounding Jon's debut at heavyweight. Does he still have it? Can he take a heavyweight's best shot? I don't have the answers, but what I do know is that Jon Jones is the greatest fighter of all time, and you can't bet against that. Thanks for watching my video, guys. I'm Steve with the MMA Minute, and I'll see you next time.